Man, so it's been a little while since I've done a movie news video, but considering I usually post a lot of movie news now frequently through Facebook, but the last few days have really gotten to me with two big stories that just simply couldn't be ignored. So the first one is the one that you've probably already heard about by now if you've been following what's been happening, but the first one is obviously the Joker origin story that's on deck with Todd Phillips writing and directing with Scott Silver of 8 Mile fame helping to write the screenplay, while the Martin Scorsese will be producing this Joker film, which is designed to be a spin-off that is currently unconnected to the DC Extended Universe, which currently features Jared Leto as the Joker following Suicide Squad, but this film will be completely unrelated under a new DC Films banner which currently hasn't been announced, but it's being treated almost like the Elseworlds, stories that DC fans will be familiar with, where characters are often spun off into sort of what if or alternate stories, where this DC film is intended to be very gritty and grounded, set in an early 1980s Gotham City that is intended to feel more like Martin Scorsese's earlier films like Taxi Driver, Raging Bull, or The King of Comedy. Although currently the film doesn't have a release date or anything and it's still kind of earlier stages, you can't help but be curious at least as to this Joker origin film. Now, I'm one of the people that I've never really wanted a Joker origin, and The Killing Joke is still the closest thing to a Joker origin, and in similar cases, The Dark Knight, where the Joker often feels that multiple choice is the best answer, I guess, for a origin. But I know a lot of people are sort of a little bit on the edge because of Todd Phillips' involvement, and look, War Dogs is really underappreciated. War Dogs was released last year, it was the last film Todd Phillips directed, and people were just expecting a big old comedy in the style of The Hangover, when in fact it was actually a drama, and people were really unfair to that film because they were expecting The Hangover, and it clearly wasn't. War Dogs is really underappreciated, and so because of that, I can't help but be a little bit more optimistic about Todd Phillips directing this Joker origin film, especially if Martin Scorsese's fingerprints are going to be all over it and going to be sort of guiding the process. So you can't help but be a little bit excited, although yes, I kind of wish they maybe stuck to something like a Superman Red Son that is clearly an Elseworld style story that really doesn't have much involvement with a character that doesn't necessarily need this type of treatment. But nonetheless, I'll be there when they decide to make it. It's one of DC and Warner Brothers' many announced films that haven't gone into production or anything yet. They're currently in development or planned, but a lot of films at the moment aren't actually going into production. The only one that's going into production next is Shazam. But we're still waiting to find out when all these other films are going to go into production. But the other one that was announced is a Joker and Harley Quinn film that is being written and directed by the directors behind Crazy Stupid Love. Which, I mean, I'm not a huge Crazy Stupid Love fan, but I know there are people that do really enjoy it. And supposedly this Harley Quinn and Joker film is what's going to be replacing Gotham City Sirens. So that would mean David Ayer is out from directing that film. That means there's no Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, Catwoman style team up film that film would have implied it would be about. I think David Ayer's pretty done with Warner Brothers at the moment. He's looking to move on to projects that he may have a bit more creative control over, as we've seen with the trailer for Bright that David Ayer worked on for Netflix. But it looks like the Joker and Harley Quinn film is something that will happen after the sequel to Suicide Squad is released, which at least gives us a little bit of time to maybe get back on track with, say, Jared Leto's Joker, which a lot of people are understandably on the fence about. I mean, I was one of the people that didn't mind what Jared Leto did. You have to understand that the Joker is a character we've seen before, and he has to be reinterpreted because otherwise we just see the same thing. You can do that with an Iron Man villain because no one's seen Iron Man villains on the screen. The Joker is different. He's the most recognizable villain in all of comic books, or in most films, period. So I'm going to be interested to see if this actually does come to fruition because, again, there are a lot of films that DC and Warner Brothers has announced. This Joker and Harley Quinn film seems to be on track a bit more than that Joker spin-off standalone Elseworld style story, but I am curious as to see what actually does get made. I don't know what is actually going to be made right now, or what is the next film that is going to be pushed forward into production, because at the moment it's still very up in the air as to what Warner Brothers' clear plan for the DC universe is. So guys, do let me know your thoughts on all the recent DC news that you've been hearing. Are you someone that's a bit more optimistic about a Joker spin-off film produced by Martin Scorsese but doesn't have any sort of connective tissue to the DC extended universe? Or are you someone who just doesn't want to see a Joker origin film, period? Or does this news of a Joker and Harley Quinn film get you interested? Do let me know down in the comments below. I'm very interested to hear. If you like this video, do give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below with all your thoughts on the content of this video. And if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, do hit the subscribe button with a little bell next to it, which will remind you of when the Mono Report uploads new content. And don't forget, you can follow the Mono Report on Facebook and Twitter at the Mono Report. Thank you so much, guys. Don't forget to stay right here for your Mono Fix. Bye, guys.